So the quarter's set for the women. Time to tap into the round of 32 for the men. The first heat features Jordy Smith and Stu Kennedy making a championship tour return via a couple of withdrawals due to injury. But Stu Kennedy's been looking sharp in the free surfing sessions. He'll need to bring his best against Jordy. Ronnie Blakey with Richie Lovett. What do you think's going to play out here, Rich?
And just look at the replay here. So Jordy drives around this first turn, gets on that heel side rail, and just great flow, great extension. That wraps the board all the way around. The nose was basically pointing back up into the curl. Those first two turns, and then Stewie on the backhand. Just slams the lip on that first turn and then got caught behind a little bit, so just hits the eject button. And now paddle, Jordy.
Loading up, driving into this first section. Bit more spark on this ride. A tapering wall, he needs to get on the attack in order to turn in a big number. But a 6.17, a positive start, he'll back that up. And Stu Kennedy will be in pursuit after the first couple of minutes.
I think we've settled into a really good space in surfing now, where there's a great mixture of the two. Jordy just grinding through that roundhouse. Look how steady. And again, looks like Jordy paddling.
Why not? Got that line up just to himself with Stu at the moment, and has room to move. And there we go. That's what Jordy's capable of. When he gets his confidence up, when he's really feeling it, he can throw down a big, deep, full rail carve, hold that line from the top of the wave right down into the trough. But if he spots the opportunity, he'll ramp up as well.
He's made Stewie just start thinking about it, and he'd be hearing these scores coming in, the 6, the 3, although it's not a big score. Let's have a look here. Jordy, the quick snap, cuts it short because he wanted to get to that section. Just the little tail high reverse. Nothing too extraordinary when you think of the actual repertoire and the capabilities of both these two surfers. But just have a look at this. That section just sort of popped up with a bit of backwash. Gets the grab. Gets those fins and the whole bottom of his board towards the shore. So you know that in that instance he was pretty converted. Pretty inverted, I should say.
Jordy, wave catching machine up again, guys.
Yeah.
Taking off down the line. Take it away, Ronnie.
Trying to better a 5 on this one. Loading up for something big on the inside. A loftier version of the same move that scored him a 5 just moments ago. And that one, less of that explosion out of the pocket version and more of an oncoming ramp. And he tapped right into it. A little bit of time in recovery, but I think it'll still score pretty well.
Well, you can see Stewie. He's just patiently waiting on these lefts, and Jordy's gone, well, I'll stick to the rights and I'll get this work done here. You can see there a little bit more height, a bit more inverted. Great angle here. You can see just how, if you just watch and concentrate on the actual pathway of the board, just look at how inverted he gets here. So gets the grab again, the board completely pointing back down into the foam, and Jordy gets the full recovery. That little quick correction, that regain just happens so quickly, and perfect control there.
Just love the way that he gets that tail so high, so much higher than the nose. Kind of actually ends up making a tail out of the nose of his board by getting it into the water first.
It's just, let's see what Jordy did on the right. This is the replay here. So a nice clean snap to open up. Drives down the line. Just gets the come lowers, and because he's so experienced out here, okay, looks like Stewie's going to get things underway here. Split peak.
Well, Stu heading left, and we'll go with him for the moment. Has a nice flow. Gets his board back up there. Jordy on the right. So we'll see what work he got done.
A little projection floater and trips up. So Stewie on the left. Great bottom turn. Times that first hit. Comes around the second and then slams it again. Some good surfing there from Stewie.
On the QS. But it was Morgan Siblick who snuck in that final position. As we see Jordy up on the backhand. Just a nice flowing style. Get much out of this ride though. Unlikely it'll go into his top 2. And Stu Kennedy will get an opportunity on the outside.
and Stu making the jump.
So both these guys are working things out as Jordy has a look at one on the inside there, gets out of there. And also overlapping now with Heat 2, Julian Wilson up against Wade Carmichael. But it's Stu Kennedy now trying to fight his way back into this heat. The South African Jordy Smith got away from him a little bit, but he's making up some ground now. A couple of solid hits. He'll get out of this one.
Jumping all over the place, but here's the replay of Stu. See how he gets so steady and set on the bottom turn, drifting those fins, getting a little bit more tricky, a bit more explosive.
You know, I can build on that at least. Julian's really trying to get himself to the final series, so he needs a massive turnaround. We see Jordy Smith on the outside. Chucks the tail on the first section, driving up into this oncoming, gurgling section there on the inside, and he'll get the completion. Is it better than a 617 though?
Close. Carrying a few little cuts. You can see Jordy here drives around, just accelerates through that turn and then waits for his moment, slams that oncoming section. What I like about Jordy too is it looks like his boards are a little bit longer than everyone else's, and that possibly could be with just the sheer height of the man. He's riding a slightly longer board. I was having a look. They're up around the 33 litre mark. Jordy, great look from the side angle here. Just jamming on the fins. Sees the oncoming section, throws it up. Just overpowering those sections, and a couple of our surfers, you know, they're sort of getting overwhelmed by the power in that final hit, but Jordy just muscling it.
Well, 12 minutes remaining here for Stu Kennedy, and he's seeing an opportunity to chase down a 7 on this ride. Driving up into the lip, just transitioning there, a little caught behind for a moment, and he's going to get out of this one. So he'll need more. Jordy's going to get priority now.
But he got there. So Stu, setting himself off the bottom, was a little late to the party on that hit, and just doesn't get the second, and that left-hander away from Stu. Let's see. Jordy hits that first lip, drives around this section, takes to the air, gets the spin, and gets the completion. That little lip. Jordy up and riding again.
Driving up into this section. Huge layback. Won't recover this one, though.
Geez, he's been busy. That's his 9th wave. He's ridden. Stu Kennedy only riding 3.
Never missed an event. 14 finals, 5 championship tour wins, and a good score on the way as Stu Kennedy dials a bomb. A couple of decent turns on the outside. Jordy Smith's been building though. He replaced his 6.17, his opening ride, on his previous wave, and got a 7.67. And that's left Stu Kennedy chasing an excellent score.
And Stu, here's the replay. See a little lumpy on the first one. The second turn better. Throws the tail high up over the lip, and then just gets a quick one on the third hit. So it's not going to be that 8.5 that he needs.
Well, you must be loving this year then, because we've had a different winner at each of the championship tour spots so far on the men's and women's tour. As we see surfer split in the peak. Jordy Smith going right, Julian Wilson on the left. Jordy up into the first section.
Wow.
Absolutely blasting that wave to bits. That was a huge move there, and he had to swoop on those opportunities because that wave was tapering off pretty quickly.
Has a couple of numbers on the board. A little tail flare, float climb, and this one here just absolutely grinds the whole top of the...
And Stu having a look at this left. Loading up. Needs to make the most of this section. Nice hook off the top. Sends plenty of spray. And a dynamic finish to the ride, but he's after a big number, an 8.5, and that's before Jordy's next score drops in, so it could grow the requirement.
And Stu down the line was a good-looking wave. Sets that bottom turn on the rail, and then bang, slams it. Just a little late on the final hit, and I think he knew it as well. Instead of grinding and really just ripping the face of the wave off, whereas Jordy, he's in attack mode.
Yeah, loading up on what will be the final ride of that first heat of the round of 32, and no surprise to see Jordy shift his focus onto the rights. When you look at his 13 years on the championship tour, 13 CT finals, All his runner-up finishes, all his victories, all on the forehand.
Wing wan on a ding dang. Stoked.
You've identified that right better than anyone so far this event. What do you attribute that to?
Just going right, pretty much. Everyone else has been going left. Just having a dig and give it a chance.
Ask simple questions, get simple answers. That was a good one, Stace. You're out here without a coach or any travel partner and stuff like that. That's obviously different from previous years. How are you finding that?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of doesn't leave anything out there. You just go with what you're thinking, and it's almost in a way simplifies things a lot. But I do text back and forth between my dad, just what he sees online. Obviously, it's very difficult, but he kind of watches. He's a mental frother, so he watches all day and then kind of just gives me his opinion before I kind of paddle out.
Yeah, you never lose any heats from the couch. That's a good opinion. Jordy, talk to me about your aerial antics. You're the biggest guy on tour, or one of. What's going through your mind when you're upside down like that?
Just aerodynamic. Try to get as streamlined as possible, pretty much. I got a 6'2.5", 6'3" board. When you put those things up in the air, it's like an aeroplane wing. So compared to some of the other guys, I mean, yeah, when the waves are big enough, it's not too bad, but when it's small, it's definitely a little difficult.
Moving through to the next round. Well done, Jordy.